Pels game 2 tomorrow night. Christian Clark, NOLA.com, joins now. How are you, dude?
Hey, man, I'm doing pretty good. 5 days in Oklahoma City. Maybe there's some markets you would rather go to, but I'm having fun.
Well, you're covering the NBA playoffs, which that is just a great way to make a living. So enjoy it. Pels just had media availability. I see you're obviously there. What were the standout takeaways from media availability that just wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, the big one was Zion Williamson spoke to local media for the first time since he tweaked his left hamstring last week. It's been a week since the injury occurred. I thought Zion was in pretty good spirits considering the circumstances. He used the word demoralized. He felt demoralized that he got hurt, right when it looked like he was finally going to be able to play in the playoffs. I mean, Zion, this is year 5, obviously has not been able to play in the playoffs yet. I just thought he was in good spirits despite all that's happened in the last week.
What, based on what Zion said, he said I think he said it's definitely realistic, maybe might be the quote, that of him returning here in the postseason. Can you walk us through, Christian, what that would entail? Like, what is definitely realistic about a timeline to get Zion Williamson back?
So, yeah, I mean, I think everyone has to understand that the Zion's return from injuries, it's always, not the most straightforward. I think right now Zion is really early in the recovery process. Right when the injury occurred, the Pelicans said, "Hey, look, we're going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks." It's been 1 week right now. I don't think Zion is doing a whole lot on the court right now. So my sense is that he's not close. But at the same time, me and Andrew Lopez, we both asked him, like, "Hey, how does this one compare to the right hamstring injury, which occurred last year?" And Zion, was really, matter of fact about it. He's like, this was not nearly as bad as the right hamstring injury, which happened last year and knocked Zion out for the final 45 games of the season. It's my understanding that is true. So, while I don't think he's close, or I don't think his return is imminent, I don't think this is as bad as what ended his season last year.
You could see the dismay on his face. I mean, it was just a little floater in the lane too that took him out, which was so odd and really unassuming of a play for it to happen that way. How do you think they functioned in Game 1 without Z?
I mean, I thought they played really well. The Thunder are elite at turning you over and getting out and scoring in transition, and I was a little bit worried that was going to happen in a really crazy atmosphere, and it didn't. The Pelicans defended really well. I thought Herb and the team in general did a nice job on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the most part. I just think the question in this series, especially without Zion, are the Pelicans going to be able to score enough? I mean, the Thunder were an elite defensive team. They do have that weakness of they're not a very good defensive rebounding team, and the Pelicans kind of exploited that, but they're good at really every other part of defense, and I think that's going to be the question. Can the Pelicans score enough without Zion? If you look at the regular season, the Pelicans' lowest scoring total, 83 points. It came in their second game against Oklahoma City. That's a central question to me. Without the guy who, is just a beast interior scoring against this smallish team, are you going to be able to put enough points on the board?
Christian Clark's with us, NOLA.com. He's on Twitter at @CClark_13. One of the things that Willie said after Game 1 is they got good looks. The shot just didn't fall. You buying that?
Yeah, I think I'm buying it, but the other side of that coin is that the same was true for Oklahoma City, and the Pelicans were a really good three-point shooting team this year. They're fourth in three-point accuracy. Oklahoma City was even better. Oklahoma City was the number 1 team in the NBA in three-point accuracy. So I think that is true. The Pelicans definitely can make more shots. I mean, just what scares me is I think Oklahoma City can too. Both teams just did not really shoot it well from outside. I think they missed more than they usually would. So I think both sides are capable of shooting it better in Game 2.
When we look ahead to Game 2, aside from shooting it better, what material changes do you expect from Willie for Game 2?
Yeah, I think the thing you have to look at is figuring out ways for Brandon Ingram to be a little bit more effective. I think he shot 4 of 15 in game one, and immediately after game one, when he was asked about it, he's like a lot of that is just on Brandon. I kind of followed up on practice today. Said, how do you counteract defense when they're going to be really, really physical? It's no secret that Lou Dort is just basically going to be in Ingram's jersey, going to give him no airspace. Dort is basically a fire hydrant. Just try to use his strength to not let Ingram get where he wants to go. And the two things Willie said was just more movement. Like Ingram is a guy who can sometimes be a deliberate player, like just be in action more, run a little bit more. And the other thing he said was set a screen for your teammates. That's kind of like the rule they always tell you in basketball. So if you want to get open, set a screen for your team, and that's one way you can do it. So I think Brandon's just got to create more airspace and try to just get in some sort of rhythm.
I don't want to overstate the importance of game two. I mean, it's a best of 7, so even if you lose, I mean, you still have an opportunity. You're going home and you can return serve. But as you look at the series as a whole, Christian, how important is game two for the Pelicans to get the win?
I think it's massive. I mean, especially when you consider the Pelicans were not a very good home team this year. I mean, I can't tell you definitively whether that'll continue in the playoffs, but I mean, that was the case in the regular season. They were the best road team in the NBA, 28 wins, more than any other team, and kind of a mid-home team, barely above 500. So I do think it's important for them to be able to get one of these two in Oklahoma City, just because I don't have supreme confidence that they're going to be able to win both of them at home.
He is Christian Clark, NOLA.com, on Twitter at @C_Clark_13. You can check out the pod as well. And you have a handle for the pod. I'm looking for the handle for the pod. It's at From the Wing Pod on Twitter as well. If you want to check it out, make sure you subscribe up on your favorite podcast app. Hey, man, we appreciate the time. Enjoy OKC, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, man, appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.